Suno yaar, if you are young and tuning into this explainer right now, you really need to pay close attention. Seriously. Ever since we started looking at financial habits, people are constantly asking for investment advice, like, bhai, kahan invest kare? Now, I usually stay away from giving specific stock tips. That's a job for the pros, right? But today we are going to look at the one foundational concept that absolutely qualifies as essential knowledge. It is the single most important mathematical reality of your entire financial life. We are talking about the massive cost of delay and the unbelievable mind-blowing power of starting early. So chalo, let's get straight into it.
So let me ask you, what do you think is the absolute biggest money mistake you can make in your 20s? Is it buying that crazy expensive phone, racking up terrible credit card debt? I mean, yeah, those aren't great for sure. But the true biggest mistake, it's actually completely invisible. Like so many people, I only started paying serious attention to my finances and investments in 2020. I finally sat down, mapped out my goals, figured out where I wanted my money to go, and tried to really plan for the future. During that whole process, I was talking with my chartered accountant. We were discussing all these big plans and the money I'd need to actually pull them off. And right in the middle of our conversation, when we realized my numbers were falling way short of a target, my CA just looked right at me and said, "Listen, it's your fault for investing so late." Ouch. I was completely taken aback. But then my CA started showing me the actual numbers. They showed me exactly what my net worth would look like today if I had just started, say, 5 or 10 years earlier. When I saw that massive difference, when I realized how much wealth I had literally left on the table simply by waiting, it was an absolute gut punch.
Section 1. The magic trick. Understanding compound interest. Okay, let's dive into this, because this realization brings us to the core of today's explainer. It is the one concept that will completely change your financial life. Honestly, if you don't fully understand how compound interest works, you are basically playing the game of wealth creation with one hand tied behind your back. Let's break down the simple, undeniable math here. Imagine you invest a baseline of just 1,000 rupees in a mutual fund that gives you an average annual return of 10%. In the first year, 10% of 1,000 is 100 rupees. So by the end of year 1, you've got your original 1,000 rupees plus your 100 rupee profit, giving you 1,100 rupees. Now here is where the absolute magic happens. You do not touch that money, you leave it right there. In year 2, your 10% return isn't calculated on your original 1,000 bucks anymore. It's calculated on that new total of 1,100. So you earn 110 rupees. Boom, now you're at 1,210. In year 3, you earn 10% on that 1,210, which gives you 121 rupees, bringing your grand total to 1,331. And that right there is the textbook definition of compound interest. It's simply when the interest you earn also starts earning its own interest. You are no longer just growing your original money. Your growth is literally generating its own growth. It's like a giant snowball rolling down a massive hill, getting bigger, faster, and heavier with every single rotation. This continuous cycle, this is the absolute secret to wealth generation. Once you grasp this, your entire perspective on money completely shifts. Section 2, a tale of two investors, Raghav versus Tanmay. Now, to really drive this home and show you how this crazy snowball effect plays out over an entire lifetime, let's look at a story of two friends. They have similar incomes but wildly different investment timelines. Let's look at the data. First up, we have Raghav. He's young. At just 25 years old, he decides to start investing 50,000 rupees every single month. That's 6 lakhs a year. He grinds and does this for exactly 10 years. But by the time Raghav hits 35, he says, you know what, I'm done. I'm not adding any more money to this. So over those 10 years, Raghav has invested a total of 60 lakhs, straight out of his own pocket. Okay, hold that thought. Now let's look at his buddy, Tanmay. Tanmay sees Raghav's dedication, gets super inspired, but he only starts at age 35. Just like Raghav, Tanmay aggressively invests 50,000 rupees a month, but because he started late, Tanmay doesn't stop after 10 years. No way. He keeps investing that 50K every single month all the way until he retires at age 60. That is 27 long years of consistent, disciplined investing. So over those 27 years, Tanmay ends up investing a massive total of 1.62 crores straight out of his pocket. So let's fast forward the clock to age 60. Both of them left their money in investments yielding an average of 10% annually. Tanmay, who's steadily invested that massive 1.62 crores over 27 years, ends up with a phenomenal retirement corpus of 8.23 crores. I mean, wow, that is an incredible return. His money grew by over 5 times. Looking at this, you'd think Tanmay is the absolute clear winner here, right? He worked so hard for so long. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is Raghav's final number. Remember Raghav? The guy who totally stopped investing at age 35 and never added another single rupee? He just let his original 60 lakhs sit there and compound in the background. Well, at age 60, Raghav's corpus isn't 8 crores. Nope, it is a jaw-dropping 11.18 crores. Just let that sink in for a second. Look at this side-by-side comparison. Raghav invested only 60 lakhs total. Tanmay invested 1.62 crores. Yet Raghav made nearly 3 crores more than Tanmay. How is that even possible? It is all because Raghav's money had 35 years to compound, while Tanmay's money only had 27 years. Raghav invested less than half the amount, but simply because he gave his money an extra 10 years to gather that massive compounding momentum, he utterly crushed it. Time in the market will always beat the amount of money you put into the market. Time is the ultimate multiplier.
Section 3. The 500 rupee strategy. Micro-investing for massive returns. Okay, let's move to and see how this builds, because I know looking at numbers like 50,000 rupees a month and crores upon crores can feel incredibly intimidating.
Please hear me clearly on this. You absolutely do not need a massive salary to get started on this path. You only need 500 rupees a month. That's it. Let's look at a strategy that is accessible to literally anyone watching this explainer today. Think about it. 500 rupees is just the cost of a couple of coffees, or maybe a streaming subscription you barely even use. If you can scrape together and save just 500 rupees, you hold the key to a completely different financial future. Let's actually map out what happens to that 500 rupees. Say you're 20 years old and you decide to invest just 500 rupees every month at a 10% annual return. After 10 years, that tiny little monthly habit grows into 1 lakh. Not bad. After 20 years, it doesn't just double. The compounding curve really starts to take off. You're looking at almost 4 lakhs. But what if you let it ride for 40 years, all the way to retirement? That 500 rupees a month turns into a staggering 31.5 lakhs. That right there is the massive exponential curve of compounding, just working silently in the background of your life. But wait, here is the real secret to supercharging this whole thing. We call it the step up. Let's be honest. As you get older, you're going to get promoted, your income is going to grow, right? So what if, instead of keeping it flat at 500 rupees, you commit to increasing your investment by just 10% every single year? So year 1, you invest 500 a month. Year 2, it's 550 a month. Year 3, 605. Just tiny little bumps that you won't even notice. Look at this comparison. A flat 500 gives you 31.5 lakhs, but simply increasing your investment by 10% yearly, that pushes your final retirement corpus to nearly 60 lakhs. By just stepping up a tiny percentage as your salary grows, you literally double your wealth. It's mind-blowing.
Section 4. Your action plan. Time is your greatest asset.
So, how do we put this all together into a practical reality for you today? Before we lay out the actual rules, I just want to pause for those of you watching who might be in your 30s or 40s. You might be sitting there thinking, man, I missed the boat. I didn't start in my 20s. Hey, do not panic. As long as you have an income, it is not too late. Your greatest asset isn't your current bank balance. It's whatever time you have left to let the math work its magic. So, the rules of this game are beautifully simple. Number 1, start right now. Whether it's pocket money from your parents or your very first real paycheck, take a small slice and set it aside today. Number 2, automate the process. Set up a systematic investment plan, an SIP, so the money leaves your account before you even have a chance to spend it. Rely on systems, guys, not willpower. And number 3, increase your investment yearly. As you grow, let your investments grow right along with you. Use that step-up strategy to completely double your potential. Every single day you wait is a day of compounding growth you can never, ever get back. So seriously, what are you waiting for? The math is undeniable. The path is crystal clear. Start today. And hey, do me a huge favor. Think of one friend or family member whose financial trajectory you really want to change and share this explainer with them right now. You might just be the reason they retire as a millionaire. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Now go set up that automated investment.